Hey guys, my name is Ryan Baziaco. Um, I was online and I saw an SAT question that was supposed to be pretty hard, so I thought I'd give it a try and give you guys a quick solution. I know the SATs are supposed to be quick, so I'll try and run through this fairly quick while still giving a fairly good explanation. So basically, if we have a quarter circle here with radius 6, and we are given that the length plus the width of rectangle ARCB is 8, we need to find the perimeter of this shaded region, which I shaded in with red. So, first thing to note, obviously, is that this shaded region is going to have 4 components, right? It's going to have the arc from S to T. I'm just going to use my tool. It's also going to have S to A. It's going to have C to T, and have that diagonal AC. So if we can figure out these 4 things, then we can figure out the perimeter of this shape. Now, in questions like these, I think it's good to just lay out some variables for certain lengths. So I'm going to let x be equal to this RC here, and let y be the height from R to A. Now, we're given that the radius of the circle is 6, and I think that's important. Because, as you know, the equation of a circle is that x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. Well, we know what r is, right? We know that r is 6. So I'm going to rewrite this as x squared plus y squared is equal to 36. Now, there's not much that we can do with this equation yet. However, we are also given that the x plus the y is equal to 8. Which I think is important, because if we find the coordinates of point B, you'll see how we can apply it. So we have a system of equations. This is taught fairly early on, how to solve something like this. I'll just run through it. Let's see. X is just going to be equal to, we can move the y. And I think it's important, you should see here that x and y are going to have 2 solutions or 2 pairs that are just going to be equal to each other. You can see that these 2 equations are like symmetrical, and anything that x can be, y can also be. You'll see in a second. So if x is equal to 8 minus y, then 8 minus y squared plus y squared is equal to 36. And I'm going to distribute that square. I'm going to go 64 plus y squared minus 16y plus y squared is equal to 36. And then from here we can just combine. We got that 2y squared minus 16y plus 28 is equal to 0. I want to factor out a 2. 2 times y squared minus 8y plus 14 is equal to 0. Now we are going to use the quadratic formula. Negative b is just positive 8, plus or minus root b squared is 64, minus 4 times 1 is 4, times 14 is 56, all over 2a, which is just 2. This gives us 8 plus or minus root 8 over 2. 8 plus or minus 2 root 2 over 2. And this is just all equal to 4 plus or minus root 2. box around that. But I hope that you see that if y is 4 plus root 2, then x is going to be 4 minus root 2. And if y is 4 minus root 2, x is going to be 4 plus root 2. And we see this here by plugging this 4 plus minus root 2 back into the y. We can do this here. So if y is equal to 4 plus root 2, we can move the 4 over and the 2. X is going to be 4 minus root 2. And it's the same the other way. So now we know the coordinates of x and y. When one is 4 plus root 2, the other one is going to be 4 minus root 2. And so now let's start solving for some of these lengths here. So I think fairly easily we can solve for this ST, this arc length. The radius is 6, that means the diameter is 12. And if the diameter is 12, then circumference is just 12 pi. But since this is 1/4 of a circle, that means the ST is going to be 3 pi. Now, if you look at this line AC, it's going to be the exact same length as this green line that I draw. Everyone gets that. But this green line that I draw is actually going to be equal to the radius. You see, because point R is just the center of this circle, and it connects to the outside, point B. So now I know that AC is equal to the radius, which is 6. These two are important. Now all we need to figure out is this CT and this SA. Now we know that y can be 4 plus root 2 or 4 minus root 2. You know, if y is 4 plus root 2, then this equation is, or this diagram is going to look like this, you know, where it's like the rectangle is up. If y were to be 4 minus root 2, it would be like the exact same thing. Point B would just be here, and it would just be a rectangle drawn like this. But, I mean, you can choose either one. Let's right now set y equal 4 plus root 2. Keep it true to the diagram. Well, we can determine an expression for SA using the numbers that we know, right? Like, if we know that the radius, this SR is equal to 6, SR is equal to 6, and y is equal to 4 plus root 2, then we know that SA is going to be equal to 6 minus y, which is just 4 plus root 2. And it's the same for CT, you know? CT is going to be 6 minus x. But what is x really? Well, when y is 4 plus root 2, x is 4 minus root 2. And so if we look at these two, SA is just going to simplify out to do plus root 2. 2 minus root 2, sorry. And CT is going to simplify out to 2 plus root 2. You know, we distribute the negative. And so when we find the perimeter of this shaded region, well, we said at the start that it's ST plus SA plus CT plus AC. We know ST and AC, and we know SA and CT. So we can finally find the perimeter. Perimeter is equal to said that ST was 3 pi and AC was 6. 3 pi plus 6. And then we add SA and CT plus 2 minus root 2 plus 2 plus root 2. Well, the positive root 2 and the minus root 2 are going to cancel out. 6 plus 2 plus 2 is 10. So finally we're left with perimeter is equal to 3 pi plus 10.